Hi guys, welcome back. We shall be talking about menstruation now. Whenever we're talking about menstruation, this is the uterus. Okay, this is the uterus. Okay, now this uterus is connected to fallopian tube. This fallopian tube is having finger-like projection. Out of the finger-like projection, one is very dominant, that is known as fimbria ovarica. That is more dominant, it's longer, and it is more effective in catching the ovum that has been released by the ovary. Okay, that is how. Once the ovary releases the ovum, this will catch it with the finger-like projection. It will catch it. Along with this, the peristaltic movement will make sure the ovum reaches here. How? Whenever the ovum comes here, here is the ampulla. Ampulla is the junction where the fertilization occurs. Okay, how the fertilization occurs? Ovum reaches here, sperm comes here, and there is fertilization here. Okay, this is the area where fertilization of female and male takes place, is ampulla. Okay, once this has been fertilized here, now this has been pushed forward here and comes to the endometrium. Endometrium is the lining of the uterus. Okay, the ovum has just lifespan of 24 hours, just 24. If within 24, if there is no fertilization, this ovum will die off. Okay, so whenever the ovum dies off, so there is no game here. If the ovum needs to survive, it has to fertilize in the ampulla, then it will be propulsed here as an embryo. Right, so you have to understand this. Now remember, in females we are having around 3 to 4 lakhs of primordial follicles only. We are not having more than this, or not less than this. We are having this much, and this is a fixed reserve. It is not going to increase, not going to decrease. Okay, so in males, even if the person can be very well fertile in 60-70 years also, because he's still making sperms, but in females they are having a set number of primordial follicles. Now what is the primordial follicle? So you are having the ovary like this. Okay, like I said, this is the ovary. In the stroma of the ovary, we are having multiple number of cells. Okay, these are known as primordial follicles. These are the primordial follicles. Out of these primordial follicles, some are converted to antral follicles. How many? 6 to 7. Out of this primordial follicles, which we are having around 3 to 4 lakhs during puberty, out of this primordial 3 to 4 lakhs, every month 1000 best one are selected, and then out of that 1000, 6 to 7 are selected as antral follicles. Selected as an antral follicle. Okay, out of this 6 to 7 antral follicle, one will become as a dominant follicle, and that dominant follicle will be having the oocyte. Okay, this is the entire phenomena here. Now, in order for the primordial follicles to grow from the primordial follicle to antral follicle to antral to dominant follicle, the hormone responsible is FSH. That has been released from the brain. That is follicular stimulating hormone. Whenever the follicles have been grown up, these follicles are now releasing. Follicles now are releasing an hormone that is known as estrogen. This is releasing a hormone that is known as estrogen. Why is estrogen required? Estrogen is required to make the lining of the endometrium. You have to prepare the endometrium first. Then and only this endometrium will become secretory endometrium for the nourishment to occur. Okay, first the endometrium has to be made. It is done by the estrogen. Whenever the estrogen, a certain amount of estrogen level is attained, now this estrogen will give a negative feedback to the brain to release LH. LH means luteinizing hormone. Now this luteinizing hormone is nothing but it's like a proteolytic hormone. This is going to come and act on the dominant follicle and will make the layers of the dominant follicle weaker. Okay, these are made up of protein. It's going to eat up the protein so that this can rupture easily. So whenever there is a rupture will occur on 14th day of the cycle. Normal cycle is 28 days plus minus 7 days. Okay, on this of 28-day cycle, 14th day this will rupture. That is, the ovum will rupture here and will come here. Okay, Now what will happen once the ovum comes here? There's a rupture due to the LH. There's two things going to happen here. First, there's a blast, so there will be some sort of pain, okay, inside. It's like a small, like a trauma. Along with this, what will happen is that the remaining antral follicles will be shrink. It will become shrink, and then will be converted to another thing. This is known as corpus luteum. Corpus means body, luteum means yellow body. Now this corpus luteum will be producing progesterone. Okay, this is going to produce progesterone, right? So the same follicles was initially producing estrogen, later it was producing progesterone, right? Along with this only, whenever there is a rupture here, there will be a prostaglandin coming here, because there is trauma, there will be prostaglandins coming here. So some of the prostaglandins will be present here, and some of the prostaglandins will be travel here to the uterus. That's all you have to remember. So these things are occurring on the 14th day. It will rupture on the 14th day. Now the ovum will come here, it will be fertilized, and then it will be pushed here. Okay, now you have to understand when is it going to be pushed here. It is going to come to the uterus on the 3rd day. On the 3rd day will reach uterus. Will reach uterus on the 3rd day of the ovulation. That is 14 plus 3. Okay, now on the 6th day, it is going to attach here, 6th to 9th day, but generally it attaches on the 6th day of the ovulation. Okay, it is going to attach here. Now in order to attach this, uterus has to be capable enough to support the life of the zygote. So how it will become secretory? That means the gland will become bigger, the glands will be filled up with fluids, there will be more amount of blood vessels will be produced. That is actually done by the progesterone. Progesterone means gestation sterone, which is going to continue the gestation. Okay, that is itself known as progesterone. How is this progesterone coming? From the corpus luteum. This progesterone is coming, and the first thing, the lining has to be created in the first place. No, the lining has to be created in the first, then only it will become secretory. That is done by the estrogen. Once the specific amount of estrogen level is present in the body, it is going to give a negative feedback to the brain to release LH. Now this LH will come and will cause the ovulation. Okay, once the ovulation is done, the remaining antral follicles will be shrinked and then will become corpus luteum. This corpus luteum now will be releasing progesterone. That is the entire phenomena of menstrual cycle. Now the second thing is that what will happen if there is no sexual intercourse? If there is no sexual intercourse, as I told you, the ovum can only survive for 24 hours. This ovum will die here only. The ovum will die here, right? Once the ovum dies here, this ovary is still there, no, this follicle is still there, follicle will shrink, will corpus luteum will be produced. Corpus luteum means progesterone will be produced. This progesterone will be keep on supplying or supporting this endometrium for the 6th day, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th day. It will keep on supplying here. It still has a hope that the ovum will be fertilized. On the 9th day, when it sees that okay, there is no fertilization taking place, so let us stop now. So this corpus luteum dies off on the 9th day of the 9th day of the ovulation. Okay, when it dies off, the progesterone drops. Whenever the progesterone drops, that means the lining which was there, it shreds off. Okay, remember I told you it will shred off, it will not come out, it will shred off here. Okay, it will shred the lining, the endometrial lining will shred off. Now this lining has to come out of the cervix. How will it come out? It has to be pushed by the uterus. How it will be pushed? Remember I told you some of the prostaglandins will go and keep on sitting here. These prostaglandins will be pressing here, and whenever the prostaglandins are pressing here, this blood will come out. Now this is the entire menstrual cycle. If you are pregnant or if you are not pregnant, the hormone that is going to keep on maintaining the pregnancy is the progesterone. And if the body sees okay, there is no fertilization, it will wait for 6th day, 7th day, 8th and 9th day of the ovulation. Then this corpus luteum will die, so progesterone level will come down. So this support is gone, so it will shred off and it will be pushed out by the prostaglandins, and then again the cycle will repeat. Okay, so remember, how is the estrogen produced? Estrogen is produced by the developed follicles here. Okay, why the follicles will develop in the first place? Due to a hormone FSH, which is follicular stimulating hormone. Whenever a certain amount of estrogen is produced in the body, it is going to give a feedback to the brain to release LH. LH will cause this rupture. And once this rupture is there, all these follicles will become shrink, will become corpus luteum. Corpus luteum will be producing estrogen. Now Okay, that is the entire cycle, keep on going on, and every month 1000 primordial follicles are used. Out of 1000 primordial follicles, how many are used? Are 6 to 7 are chosen from the 1000 best of best. From the 1000 are chosen. Out of 6 to 7, one becomes a dominant follicle, that is containing the ovum or the egg. Okay, this is the entire thing. And if there is no fertilization taking place, that means the ovum will die in one day only, 24 hours only. But this still keeps a hope that there can be fertilization. It's still supplying and keeping this all this thing intact. That is the progesterone keeping the endometrium secretory. It will wait for 6th day, 7th day, 8th day, 9th day of the ovulation. That is 6 plus 14 plus 6. Okay, the cycle is normal, or 14 plus 9. Okay, till then it's going to keep on surviving. And if it's still after 9 days there is no fertilization, this corpus luteum will die. Corpus luteum time is progesterone dead. No progesterone means it will shred off. How it will come out? By the prostaglandin present in the present only the uterus. Okay, they're going to squeeze out. You have to remember one thing: whenever there's explosion, it's literally like a trauma. It's literally like a trauma. So whenever there's explosion here, there is prostaglandin coming, and that prostaglandin keeps on. And within that thing, you have to understand that whenever there's explosion, there's some bleeding going on. Then now this blood comes and collects in the pouch of Douglas. So it irritates the pouch of Douglas, and so the female complains that I'm having pain on my alternate side. That is, in every month, if the left one is working 1 month, the next month right, again next month right, and it will be alternating. So the pain will be alternating every month. Okay, and this pain will be there on the 14th day, and it will just last for 1 day. That is known as mid-cycle pain. Okay, mid-cycle pain, that is happening on 14th day, and just after 2 weeks, if the cycle is regular, then only after that there will be spasm here. There will be spasm in order to throw out the blood from the cervix. There will be pain. So in a regular cycle, there will be 2 times pain on the 14th day during the time of period. Okay, and how long does the period last for? From 2 to 7 days. This is a normal range, and normal cycle range is 28 plus minus 7. That is about entire thing about menstrual cycle. Again, the first thing first, this endometrium has to be produced. How this endometrium will be produced? Will be produced by estrogen. Okay, once the estrogen function drops, now the progesterone comes into action, will make the endometrium will make the endometrium capable enough to survive a baby. It will make it more nutritious. How? It will make the glands more bigger, more filled up with fluids, more blood vessels, more blood. Okay, so it is preparing for the uterus to survive. But in the first place, endometrium, the proliferation of the endometrium, first thing will be done by estrogen, then will come to progesterone. So the entire balance has to go in hand. If you are putting a lot of estrogen in the body, lot of estrogen, so it will cause a lot of proliferation of the endometrium that can predispose you to have endometrial carcinoma. Okay, so everything goes into a balance. Okay, estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen drops. Whenever the estrogen, there is normal level of estrogen produced, it will going to produce the LH. LH will burst here, ovulation will take place. LH, then this progesterone will be released by the corpus luteum. Okay, that is the entire thing about menstrual cycle. Right, that's all. Thank you.